Hi everyone, and welcome to the tutorial. Today I will be demonstrating how to work a braid stitch across your flat piece of knitting. In a previous video I demonstrated how to work a braid stitch in the round, and we'll basically be doing the same thing here today, except the finishing process is a bit easier because you don't need to worry about joining the two ends of your braid together seamlessly. So firstly, the written instructions. Your pattern should say something like the following. Cast on one stitch in next stitch, placing new stitch on left hand needle. And then we begin a repeat, which is with right hand needle behind, knit through back loop of second stitch on left hand needle, then knit first stitch on left hand needle, slip the last work stitch from the right hand back to the left hand needle. So see what that looks like. First said I need to cast on a new stitch. So this is my next stitch on the left hand needle. I like to use the knitted cast on method to increase a stitch, which means that I pretend like I'm going to knit this stitch, and then once I get to the part where I would slip it from the left hand needle, I actually leave it there, and this new loop that's on my right hand needle is transferred to the left hand needle, which creates a new stitch. It then says to put my right hand needle behind and knit through the back loop of the second stitch on the left hand needle. So this is the front loop of our stitches, making this the back loop. So the right hand needle needs to be behind the left hand one. And to knit through the back loop, you insert your right hand needle, wrap the yarn around clockwise as per normal, and draw the loop through. But don't yet slip that stitch from the left hand needle, keep it there, because then I need to knit the first stitch on the left hand needle. And I do that normally through the front loop. So insert the right hand needle and knit that stitch. And once both of those stitches have been worked, that's when they can be slipped from the left hand needle. And there's the start of our braid. Then the pattern says to slip the last work stitch from the right hand needle back to the left hand needle. So this is the last work stitch, goes to the left hand needle. And then we start to repeat again. So with the right hand needle behind, knit through the back loop of the second stitch on the left hand needle, leave everything there, knit through, or knit the first stitch on the left hand needle, so we do that just through the front loop, and then slip both stitches from the left hand needle, and you'll hopefully start to see our braid appear. Transfer the last work stitch back to the left hand needle and repeat again. Knit through back loop of second stitch, knit through front loop of first stitch, then slip the last work stitch to the left hand needle, right hand needle behind, knit through the back loop of the second stitch, knit through the front loop of the first stitch, slip the last work stitch to the left hand needle, and so on. Now, once I get to the point where my pattern tells me to finish the braid, it might say once you're X number of stitches away from the end of the row, or X number of repeats. So we'll say that my pattern is telling me that this many stitches is away from the end is where I should stop. My written instructions then say do not slip the last work stitch back to the left hand needle. So keep this here. And then at the start, you'll remember that we cast on a stitch, and I now need to get rid of that stitch because I don't want to increase how many stitches there are on the needle. So my written instructions say to pass the second to last work stitch over the first one. So this will be the last stitch on the right hand needle, making this the second to last work stitch. And to pass it over, I insert my needle into it and bring it up and over that last work stitch, so it's gotten rid of it. And there is a braid stitch worked across a flat piece of knitting. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions or comments, please do leave them below.